value-adding auditing. Because what we are expected, there is no perfect process in the world. And there is, even if you are auditing the process 100 times, the whole 100 times you will still be finding something to add to whatever process if you follow the process approach. Am I on the next stage? Value-adding auditors, 3.8, auditor. Are we? Is it? Good. I'm sorry because I couldn't see the slide, so I want to be sure that we're on the same page. At this point, I want us to look into something. The definition of an auditor by itself. Before we talk about the value, the basic auditor itself, according to 19,011, the standard defines an auditor to be a person with the competence. A person with the competence to perform an audit. A lot of us thought that it is only passing through the lead auditor course or internal auditor course that is the competence. I'm sorry, that may not be. That may not be. The competence itself has to do with a lot of training, work experience, audit experience, reading, familiarity with the process to audit, and so many of it. So it's not just, so many people went through lead auditor course, but after 2 years, they were not even able to interpret the clauses of the standard. So here I want to highlight the word competence. So it is not just someone that performs audit, but someone with the competence to perform audit. Now, clause 3.14 of the 19,011 defining what that competence means, which is the demonstrated personal attributes and demonstrated ability to apply knowledge. That is exactly where I'm going. The ability to apply knowledge. So you can see it's a different ball game, having the knowledge and applying the knowledge. So the knowledge application, it has to be gentle, gradual, friendly, and with the intention of improvement. It's not just, no, this is the way I knew it, and you must do it this way. Auditors doesn't work like that. A lot of us, because we are in the position of an auditor, do pressurize organizations to follow our understanding of the process. And that is not correct. So application of the knowledge. How much time I have? You didn't tell me from start that I have this much. I beg you, how much do I have? 10. So we have to skip. Okay. So I believe we discussed the competence part of it, so let's quickly rush through the other one. This one has to do with a value-adding auditors was expected to have perceptiveness. Perceptiveness, ability to grasp the problem quickly, but without jumping to conclusion. Yes, non-conformity, I catch him. No, that's not the way to work. No, that's not the way. A lot of us jump to conclusion by seeing some signs only, without asking deep down. Persistence. When we talk about audit trail is to go through, you can do a single trail audit for the whole day, and it adds value. When you want to make out an important something that has to do with the organization and affect their strategic objective, you go down the rail, you try and drill it down. Persistence, not just how much do you do it 10 times, and how is it done? It is done fine. Is it okay? It is okay. Sorry, that's not an auditor. Disciplined approach, ability to approach a problem logically and systematically, ability to define boundaries of responsibility. That is what we expect from value-adding auditors. You should be able to stay within your boundary. A lot of us get sidetracked. We're doing audits and something happened. An emergency happened and the auditors and everybody ran away. And we also run to them. How does it happen during the audit? No, you're already sidetracked. What about if those emergency was planned in order to take you away from the auditing? Value-adding auditors, according to 19,011, it's not just about conformity and compliance. It also looks into the effectiveness of organizational process. Are these processes delivering their targets? Improvements on organization goals and objectives? The same objective last year, the same objective the same year, the same objective set for next year, and you are auditing it? No. It's not a value-adding auditing. Management priorities and objectives. Don't waste your time on what doesn't matter to the management. Ask them, where exactly are you going? What exactly do you want to achieve? That is where you focus your audit more on. So they would look at your recommendation and take it with positive minds and say, this is really helping us. Then, customer requirements. When we audit and we forget what the customer needs, we're already losing those audits. Statutory and regulatory and contractual requirements. Those are the areas that value-adding auditors will concentrate more and try to make a lot of impact. So also potential risks, nowadays we focus more on risk-based auditing. Now, sorry, I didn't change the slides. Am I? You changed it. Oh, thank you. So are we on the auditing process? Yes. Now, those, I think, benefit to the organizations. We can also go through that later. I quickly need to get to some area. Value-adding auditors, what do? Good reporting. Good auditing reporting. When auditors report, what are the constituents of the audit report? For us to have a value-adding audit, the content, this should not be irrelevant. They shouldn't be, we arrive at the audit site at 8 a.m. and we met 3 people on sitting. The CEO was not available. We don't need all that in audit report. It has to be content, informative, based on what are the scope of the audit. It has to be factual. It needs to be complete. It's not only what is wrong. It should be everything. It should be accurate and precise. It should be consistent. Not that Times Romans on top and then Calibri down and then Arial in the next. And no. Professionally, these are not the way we're asked to do. Legibility, transparency, and blah, blah, blah. Let's go next. Now, because I have to rush, Madam is running after me. Prioritizing OFI over NCR. I didn't even check the time. I should have been more accurate with the time. I didn't think I spent up to that, though I'm late. What I mean by this slide, are we on the slide? Prioritizing OFI over NCR. Yes. For a value-adding auditor must understand that raising a lot of opportunities for improvement is more beneficial than raising non-conformities. I personally used to be very much annoyed with auditors that raise more NCs. You know why? It is depicting these professionals. This profession is being hated due to auditors that are fond of NCRs. They look at us like policemen. They don't even want to get the good value we want to add. Because they know, hey, the last time that man came, it caused us so much trouble. He's coming again. You know, sometimes they will call the organization, don't let that man come. Oh. It's not just because you are, sometimes we said that the value of an auditor doesn't depend on the number of NC raised. So let all of us understood that we are only going to add value. That non-conformity that you want to raise, it should be so important that the organization is losing money and you want them to save money. That's why you raise it. And there are ways even to make it as opportunity for improvement. It's not about downsizing the non-conformity, but sometimes I'm sorry. So, now going to this, before we should raise a non-conformity, we should be very sure that we have objective and verifiable evidence. There is factual evidence of difference between the systems, manual, and procedures. There is a big gap. This system required them to do this, that the CEO should have somebody in charge of human resources, and there should be HR process, there should be recruitment process. And the man said, no, I know who to recruit. There is no need to write a procedure. In that case, it's a big issue that will affect the organization. So factual evidence, difference between procedure and working practice, lack of evidence, blah, blah, blah. Let me quickly just next slide. So I said that failure to add value in management system auditing. If an organization paid for an external auditor, scheduled their time, their CEO couldn't go for any meeting. He waited for the opening meeting. All of them have prepared their departments, and all of them followed the auditor, each roles and level. And at the end of the day, the auditors just came and wrote a very lengthy non-conformity and very, annoying reports. What will happen? There will be loss of confidence. People will not be happy to do the audit again. They wouldn't have any choice, but they wouldn't feel cooperative enough. There will be loss of cooperation among the staffs. That thing you are always doing, I don't even see any value in it. No, but if an auditor helped them here, shared some opinion here, give them ideas here, I'm not saying that you provide corrective actions for the non-conformity raised in external auditing. That's not what I'm saying. But there is nothing wrong in sharing opinion and ideas on how things can be done better. That is why they will ask for the auditor next time. It's not about selling ourselves, it's about adding value to the organization. Resulted in waste of time. People feel, why do we do this? Avoiding neither internal and external audits. Audit reports recommendation not implemented. When people feel tired of audits, when we are just doing it, if it doesn't add value, so it's losing itself. So sometimes it leads to management system crashes. When people doesn't feel like doing internal audit again, they don't know the health of the system, and at the end of the day, they end up losing it. So in conclusion, auditors are advised to seek more areas of improvement than raising non-conformities. Continual professional development, training and retraining, seminars and networking are seriously advised to keep ourselves up to space. Registration with professional bodies and creating values and benefits is also very, very critical. And I think this is one of it. This event, we've been longing for something like this. And we are so happy that we are on the right track. We're starting. And we're giving kudos to the Quality and Management System Auditors Institute. So thank you very much for doing this. So raising awareness of international standards across organizations and boards is also very critical. Wherever we are, let's start giving training, even sometimes free of charge. 2 hours, 3 hours training wherever we can, so that people, this part of the world, sorry to say, especially in Nigeria, we are almost at the back of the world. How much percentage Nigerians understood there is an international standard guiding my processes? And we are professional auditors, we are only sitting within our shells. So let's promote this idea. Let us teach people. Let us have a more successful career ahead. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we just listened to Dr. Mohammed Bashir, and he talked about value-adding audits. Let's still give him a loud clap. Dr. Bashir is the first chartered member of the Quality Management System Auditors Institute. He's an amazing teacher and a great auditor. If we gave him all the time, he would educate us more. Now, I took notes from what he told us, and I'm just going to share some nuggets. And while Mrs. Monica Nwosu gets ready for a session with us. Dr. Bashir talked about value-adding auditing. He told us he has started this since 2001. So if you calculate the experience, 2001 till this time, how many years is that? That's about, let's give him a round of applause, please. And he was not here when I started. When I started, I talked about giving, and that was the first thing he mentioned when he came up. He said, as an auditor, if you want to give more, you have to get more. You have to know more to give more. If you do not know, you cannot give. And he said, as auditors, the quality of what you give is very important. Very, very important. And he said, auditing is an opportunity to diagnose what is right. He also said, inspection is not auditing. He also said, fault finding is not auditing. Auditors find improvement and not find fault. He also mentioned some qualities of auditors. He said auditors must be fair, persistent, and be confidential. He also said auditors need to be evaluated. If you're an auditor, get someone to audit you. Get someone to audit your process. Make sure you're not just running an independent scheme. And he also said, as auditors, you must be competent, experienced, and get certification. Let's put our hands together for him once more. In case you're not a member of the Quality Management System Auditors, kindly visit our website to know how to go about the process. Mr. Cletus, are you on sit? We have some questions for you. Some people on Slido asked certain questions. Can we have another microphone? They are watching us, so you would quickly answer. They're funny questions, and I love them. Can we have another microphone, please? DJ Melody. One person asked why you developed the name Quality and Management System Auditors Institute.
Okay, thank you very much. It was a child of circumstance, let me put it that way, by the Nigerian system. You know, for those who are Christians, the Bible says, all things work together for good to them that love God. So that's exactly what happened. When we were registering the institute, one of the regulators that needed to, I don't want to call their name, the representative is here, one of the regulators that needed to give us official, based on CSC's new policies, an agency has to give you a clearance before you are registered as an institute. So this agency gave us headache. I kept on going to Abuja, but end of the day, for them to allow it pass, I have left a whole lot that transpired. But for them to allow it pass, the head of legal, wanting to help us, said, go and change the name so that they will just let you guys go. The initial name was Management System, Institute of Management System Auditors. But they now made us to go and change the name. And while I was cracking my head in Abuja, what name to change, the Holy Spirit gave me that particular name. And what did he now do? It added to us more feathers. How? We are not just dealing with management system auditors alone, we are now dealing with qualities. So that's why we now added quality and the Management System Auditors Institute. Watch out, in the next few months, we will start offering quality courses, quality engineers, Six Sigma, Lean, and the rest of it. Now, that's why the name became Quality and Management System Auditors Institute, thereby broadening what we are doing. So, but like I explained earlier, why the institute? The institute came into existence because of some of the things you heard in the course of the presentation, that auditors need to come together and be able to help ourselves grow, help the profession, make the profession known in this part of the world. I've been training for some of the foreigners in this part of the world. By the time we calculate how much we have sent abroad and the quality of the trainings we have, I was very angry, because many of you can bear us witness that some of us, we just get the certificates and that is all. But there's nothing to help you become who you should be professionally. And this is why the Institute came into existence. Thank you very much.
And another person.
Okay.
Another person asked if there will be certification for attending this program. They're watching us now and they'd like to know.
In all sincerity, only members of the Institute that attended this training, this program, will get certification.
Okay.
Any other person who is not yet a member, if you need a certificate for it, you have to pay for it.
Okay. Thank you.
If we tell you what it costs for each person to sit here, you will know why we don't want to make it free. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Let's put our hands together for our convener. Okay, we're having the ergonomics now by Samson Oyediran, and then we'll go into the quiz, the first quiz for today's event. So we're going to exercise our body. The host wants to make sure we're in great posture, even while attending this event. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Samson Oyediran as he comes up to take us on the ergonomics. You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, a warm weekend to everyone. So we've been having lectures for a while now, and it's only crucial that we observe our economic break. So I'll be leading us through the coconut exercise. For many of us, it's not new at all. And, in sessions like this, we learn, we relearn, and we unlearn. So this is just doing what we've always known to do. Just do as I do. Let's all stand up on our feet, please. All right, and you just follow my every move. We start by saying C to this direction. C, O, C, O, N, U, and then C. Let's do that again. C, O, C, O, N, U, C. And for the final time, C, O, C, O, N, U, C. It's loud coconut. It can be louder than that. Thank you.
Thank you, though I was not able to participate in this game. Now, like the convener said earlier today we're going to be going home with free certificates. We're going to be going home with cash prizes. We're going to be having a raffle draw. So it's the first quiz for this event. The first quiz for this event. So for the next 5 minutes, we do not intend to take your time. We'll do this quiz quickly, and then we go on to the first panel session. Mr. Abanom Isakba would like to have you now. Thank you. He will be taking us on the quiz session. Please let us put our minds to it. We're here to connect. We're here to learn. We're here to have fun. So the quiz is one way for us to just stretch our minds. Mr. Abanom, we're waiting for you. While we wait for him, please do not forget to connect with the Quality Management System Auditors Institute on social media, Facebook and LinkedIn on that name. And for those who are watching us online, whatever questions you put down, we'll make sure to answer them as soon as we can. Mr. Abanom, are you ready?
Okay, good afternoon once again. The link again is slido.com. The joining code is QMSAI. We know what QMSAI is at this point, right? We know what it is, right? Q is for M A sorry S A I Institute. So Slido.com, we still have 23 persons, 25. Let's get the numbers up. Slido.com, the joining code is QMSAI. Be sure to put your name. Do you have any anonymous there? Okay. Be sure to put your name. The name that we can identify you with, please. 35 persons. Let's see if we can push it up to 50. So each of these sections will be having 5 questions. Then we have 3 winners for each of the sessions. At the end, there will be an INEX session to collate the results before we announce. So yes, we are on 50. Can we start? 54, 55. Okay, I will start at 60. Slido.com, QMSAI is the joining code. Those of us that have 1 names. Your certificates will have 1 name if you are one of our winners. 2 more persons to make it 60. Okay, we can start. The first question, you have 20-second countdown. The countdown has started. Ten seconds more. 5 seconds more. Okay. Let's see the answer. Okay, next. Toyosi Peter, Michael Shibuzo, and Samson Oyedegon, top 3 winners. Next question. Question is on the screen. Countdown has started. Ten seconds more. 5 seconds more. Okay. Okay. Let's see the leadership board. Mitota, Toyosi, Peter. Peter is not here. He's doing something for me, pardon. Next question. The countdown has started. Ten seconds more. 5 seconds more. Our responses, let's see the correct answer. Okay. Toyosi Peter. Ha. Next question, please. That's the question. Countdown has started. Ten seconds more. Look at your phone. Don't look at me. Don't look at the screen. 5 seconds more. Let's see the answers. Your response. Let's see the correct answer. The leadership board. Mitota and Toyosi. Ha. Mr. Wali, we're supposed to exempt you. The next question. Ten seconds more. 5 seconds more. Going. Let's see your responses. This one sheep. Let's see the leadership board. So we have We have Mr. Mitota for the first winner, Mr. Wali as the second, and Emmanuel Kasali as the third. And the fourth, we have Melly. Mr. Wali, you are going to give away your position. Thank you.
Can we give a round of applause to all our winners? The organizers of this event, they have very big hearts. They love to reward people. Without taking any more of our time, we'll quickly move in to the first panel discussion. And I'd like to introduce our panelists. In no particular order. Our first panelist is a public speaker, a mentor, and a tutor with over 15 years of extensive experience as a seasoned management system consultant. He's an IT network professional and a certified lead auditor. He serves both private and government sectors, and he currently serves as the managing partner and system consultant for Lenora Consulting. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Oluwatoashetosi. Let's put our hands together for Oluwatoashetosi. You're welcome, sir. Kindly make your way up. Okay, for the others, kindly use the staircase to my right, which is free from all the wiring and everything. Now, our next panelist, is a certified lead auditor who has participated in over 100 external audits of various management system standards, home and abroad. Her niche includes manufacturing, banking, oil and gas, telecommunications, information technology, consulting, security, and transportation. She's presently the head of Business Development Unit, Management System Certification Department, and Standards Organization of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mrs. Oludunke Oluwafumilayo. Mrs. Oludunke Oluwafumilayo. You're welcome, ma'am. Our next panelist. You're welcome, ma'am. The next panelist is an MNSE managing partner at Seth Consult Limited. He is the lead auditor in the Occupational Health and Safety Management System, and he's an environmental management system and auditor in the Quality Management System. He is an experienced health and safety, environment, and quality professional, and is versed in the areas of occupational health and safety. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Yari Clement Henry. Mr. Yari Clement Henry. You're welcome, sir. You're welcome, sir. Our next panelist is the Managing Director and CEO of Dominite Management System Limited. Please put your hands together for Mr. Dimeji Folami. You're welcome, sir. We have top dogs in the house. We have experts in the house, so please. And the next panelist, she is a certified management system consultant and coach. She's also an ISO lead auditor and trainer. She's a certified professional scrum master. She's a certified business analyst and a certified manager of quality and organizational excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, again, put your hands together for Mrs. Monica Nwosu. Mrs. Monica Nwosu. Welcome, ma'am. Now, to lead this session for the next 30 minutes is the convener of this event. Like I said earlier, he's the only one on LinkedIn whom I know whose profile begins with the grace of God and ends with a faithful husband. Please put your hands together for Mr. Cletus Akibe. Let's put our hands together for the convener of today's event, the CEO of the Quality Management System Auditors Institute. You have 30 minutes for this panel session. I think you should be here. Oh, is this okay? Okay.
Thank you very much. Can we have a mic for everybody? There's only one mic we have. It's okay. So, on behalf of the panelists, I want to thank you, beautiful participants, as you join us in this session. 30 minutes, we will see how we can manage it. You have been told the caliber of men and women here. For so many years, Mr. Folami was the only one that had the IAS accreditation in Nigeria. See great women here. See my very own pastor at the end, Mr. Joe. We all represent different sectors, different organizations that in this particular industry and this profession, we have been able to give our best, and we are still giving our best. So from the wealth of our knowledge, this morning we want to share with you. So this is the first panel session. So in the second panel session, please start preparing your questions for those who will ask physical questions. But we have pre-written questions for that particular session. But this session, we just want to hear from them. Now that we have more men, I think I should start with the men so that we can balance it. So I will have Mr. Mr. Clement Yari speak first. My brother Yari will speak first. Now, what do we want to hear from you, Mr. Yari? Like the topic says, what are the challenges in auditing? What challenges have you faced? What challenges shaped you and made you an excellent auditor that you are today? Can you please share with us some of these challenges? Please, let's, Mr. Folami, please let me give him the phone, the mic, Amen.
All right.
Put it on.
Okay, once again, thank you for the opportunity to be here. And I don't take that privilege lightly at all. How many minutes do I have? 5 minutes, 2 minutes?
So please, 5 minutes each.
Okay, that's
Please.
fine. So quickly, I will do a rundown and try to summarize it in 5 minutes. I have penciled down about 10 points or thereabout that are some of the challenges in the ISO management system auditing. The first one is poor knowledge of the management system standard, and thus poor interpretation. The management system standard is
Sorry, Mr. Yari.
Yes.
Please then, as you are talking, assume that all of us, we are new to this profession.
Okay.
So that you bring it to our level.
I will.
Thank you.
I will. The management system standard is that criteria against which you carry out your audit. Once there's a poor knowledge of the standard, you're surely going to have a problem and a huge challenge auditing. The management system standard is the constitution. What I mean by constitution is the body of fundamental principles that drives how an organization is governed with respect to that scheme. And by scheme, I'm referring to whether it's environmental, whether it's quality, whether it's information, security, and all that. Okay? So, poor knowledge of the management system standard. A second point is, this leads also to the inability of the auditor to see the interaction and integration, between clauses of the standard and the processes of the organization. The second challenge is poor knowledge of the scheme or subject matter and area of specialization. What do I mean by that? If an auditor is not knowledgeable about engineering and does not do a good background work to understudy what the organization is into, it's going to impact on the audit significantly. Okay? If I am an accounting person or somebody with an accounting background and has no knowledge of health and safety, for example, getting into that field, you are going to have a lot of struggle because you may not even understand what hazards are in the first place. So yes, you have a knowledge of the management system standard, the ISO 45001 2018, but haven't gone through the training and all that. But you don't understand the key concepts of health and safety. You will struggle in that audit. All right. And here, actually, the issue of competence, as explained by Dr. Bashir, comes into place. The auditor must have basic knowledge of that scheme or that subject matter to be able to audit it effectively. The next one, in my experience, is the blame culture in the organization. Sorry, I'm not giving you in order of priority or in order of importance, but just stating them. A challenge I had auditing is the blame culture in an organization. When an organization is blame culture driven, the auditor struggles in making decisions at the end of the day. So, Dr. Bashir, you have issues of soft grading simply because you know that in arriving at the decision of that audit, heads will roll because of the blame culture. All right. Another one is quacks or half-baked professionals in the field. Sadly, that's what we're having now. You have people whose goal is their belly, what they ought to get, what they intend to gain. So the whole thing is turned upside down. Okay? So you have such situations. You have many who even parade themselves in the field as lead auditors simply by attending because they felt they've attended a lead auditor's course. That doesn't make you a lead auditor. I met one like that the time we failed me to share experience. Let's leave that. Okay. We even have frauds. Okay? Who give birth to fraudulent audit and fraudulent audit outcomes. I met with one in a company and he told me, I just looked at me and said, Mr. Clem, yes, I'm a lead auditor and all that. I said, by what authority? And he paused. And, you know, going around the facility, he just told me, no, things, you see how we're doing very well. And things are obviously wrong. So I just knew this guy is nothing but a quack. Later I got to know he's just out for business. What is he going to get out of it? Poor improvement sightedness. Forgive my use of that English, okay? If it doesn't exist in the dictionary, we have it now. Yeah. Poor improvement sightedness. Dr. Bashir mentioned that. If an auditor is not improvement minded, it affects the audit. Because he just simply runs on a fault-finding mission. I remember one person we have say, okay, give them major. What are they going to do with it? And what purpose is it going to serve? Okay? So, inability to see the big picture, and that the big picture is improvement of the organization. finished an audit, and the head of that organization walked out on us. I had sufficient money to fly back to Lagos if anything happens. So, that's one of the challenges also. So
Thank you very much. Please, let's clap for Mr. Clement Yari. Yes, so the next will be a woman. So I'm going to ask Mrs. Oludunke Oluwafumilayo. Please pardon my Isha tongue. It's an Isha man. Can you please tell us, ma, your own perspective? How did you get to where you are? What were the challenges? What should the upcoming auditors be aware of? Now, I want us to please don't stick with the mentality of only external auditor. Also include internal auditor in your discussion. Let's touch both internal and external auditors' challenges. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Challenges and how to overcome them, practically for me. I want to start by saying that audit needs passion. You have to be passionate about auditing. Because if you don't have that passion, there's no way you'll be able to meet up and go along with the development in the auditing cycle. Like what Doctor said earlier during his presentation, auditing is different from inspection. Inspection, you don't need to stress yourself. You may not even do background reading, background searching. You can just go and say, give me your procedure, you check through. You may not even need to write reports. But auditing is not that. You have to have the understanding of the sector. You have to have the understanding of the standard. You have to have the understanding of the culture of the organization. You have the understanding of the competence needed to do that audit. You must have the understanding of the team you are working with if you want to do value addition audits. So that is why I started by saying that you have to have passion for the work. Because it's that passion that will push you to be able to do, to get what is needed to have a successful audit. Also, you have to have the understanding of basic principles of auditing, especially in the country we are right now. Doctor started with ethical conduct. Ethical conduct is the background of auditing. If you don't have it, there's no way you'll be a successful auditor. I have an experience. I was in an audit, certification audit of an organization. Immediately we started, the ISO rep of the organization started moving around all the members of the team, started presenting envelope. He came to me, gave me the envelope. I said, please, hold on with this envelope till we finish the audit. He said, Madam, collect it. Madam, collect it. I said, no problem. I collected the envelope, put it inside my jotter. Not knowing that that was the same way he has gone through all the members of the team. So we started. Now, that organization, they are afterwards, after the certificates. They don't want to use that certification process, the auditing process, to bring improvement to their system. So they don't really understand the essence of having the audits. Their mind is just that, let us be free, give us the certificate that we need. But that is not the essence of the audit. The essence of the audit is to identify areas of continual improvement in the organization. So we did the audit. And if you can remember, one of the principles of the audit that the doctor presented, fair presentation. Report truthfully. So at the end of the audit, we need to do presentation of all our findings. The management started boiling. Now, they've given all of us envelope round. We presented our findings. Now, they can't come to us back and say, give us back the envelope. So, that integrity is key. Because you are there to identify area of improvements in that system. Then you must have the understanding of the basic principle of auditing.
20 seconds more.
So that is area regarding integrity. Now, another thing that I want to also talk about is the auditee perception. Most auditee, they are always on the attacking side. So as an auditor, you must have the attributes to be able to relate well. If you don't get the attention of the auditee, there's no way you'll be able to do a successful auditing. Some auditee, they will, as you are entering their office now, they will say, my daughter is sick. Even I managed to come to this office this morning. Say, I just lost somebody. Now, if you are not careful, you will be saying sorry to the end of that audit. You will not be able to get anything tangible.
Thank you very much.
So you should be able to know how to manage the auditee. Then another one I want to also lay emphasis on is not taking corrective action for improvement.
Okay, they say you should do one.
Okay. Not taking corrective action for improvement. This is common in internal audits. You will see an organization, I don't know the reason where they are doing that, which is wasting of resources. Because when you are doing audits, you are spending. You will spend time, you will spend money. Now, an organization will do internal audits first year, second year, third year, and you'll be still seeing that it's the same non-conformity raised over 3 years that is being repeated. Now, what's the essence of them? All the resources they are spending. They are wasting the resources. The essence of the audit is to identify gap, determine the root cause, do correction, and take corrective action, such that that non-conformity will not reoccur in the system again. Then that is when you have a value-added audit.
Please, let's clap for her. Thank you, Madam Fumi. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, the next person will be Mr. Folami Demeji. Let's clap for him.
Thank you very much. This is not a good seat for me. On my right, I have my client. And to the left, I have the competitor. So I have to watch what I'm going to say here. But I've been praying that I will be able to manage through. Now, let's say this. It's a great privilege for all of us to be here, and thank you very much for this. If you ask Madam here, when was the we have tried several times to pull ourselves together as professionals like this. She can say one of it that she used to say, you used to play Oyinbo to us. Why? Because we are not coming together. And I'll just leave them walk away. Now, thank God and thank you, Mr. Cletus, for this. Now back to this. I started my career when there was no ISO 19011 for internal auditing, and that was 1997. That's my career in quality. Primarily, I'm an engineer working in a construction company. Now, the first auditor that came, all he said was this, that ISO 9001, 1994 says this. And what do you say? What have you done? This is it, and they take it, and you go through the document, all it brings out are findings. And when he was leaving, he asked, he didn't even ask us whether we are trained or not. And when he asked that, oh, when we now say that, how are we not going to correct all this? Oh, I'm going to give you guys some templates that you will fill and send back to us. I ran back to my MD that this is not what the group quality manager told us. And the group quality manager is in challenge, that is France. And the man ran down and he saw him that, no, this is different from us. We have to stop that audit there. We did not have that assessment report, and we start the whole process again. And that took us to where? Knowledge. The starting point is standard says this. We have done what the organization feels this is what we should do. Now the assessor comes. Then are we together? And that is the basis for the knowledge of ISO 19011 internal audit that made people lead assessors. It is not a requirement of the standard. Standard only required for competence of the internal auditors. Now, when we have done that, the auditor knows the standard, which the speaker also talked about. But we also now have to know, does the auditor knows management system? If the auditor doesn't know the management system, we are not going to align. That is, we as the auditor and the organization. And in most cases, that is a critical challenge that we have now. In my office, I always even fight every day. I see fought on Thursday on this. I don't care who the auditor is. You must understand the management system. And you must understand the technical scope that you are covering. The way it goes is, in the standard, in all the management system standard, there are two competencies areas. There's one in 5.3 that develop you as a quality or environmental or OHS, SMS management system professional. That is where you'll be able to act as management rep. They call it the position of the assigned person. And in 9.2, which is the internal audit, that is where we have that of the auditors. We are all auditors without, let me say, most of us, 90% of us are not management system experienced. So what now happened? And until we now start to bridge that gap, we may not be able to say that we are closing that challenge. Now the next one is, the speaker spoke about 5 audit principles. That was 2011/2012 version. By the time the 2018 version was out, we already have more than 13 management system standards. The one he quoted was only quality and environmental management system. So in the new one, there are two competencies, there are 2 principles that also added, which we also have to be very, very careful with. He explained them in his value auditing. And number 1 is impartiality principle, which Madam talked about. We have that in our environment. I have my client beside me. We are face to face, we call ourselves brothers, sisters, and when we go to assessment, this is how she look, and I know we will see, We still meet. Even at the venue there, the lunch hour, she will carry her plate to go and sit. Because what I say, madam, you are not the auditee, please. And she never obstructs audit process. That I give to her. She never, in any way. And when we finish that a particular session, you say, oh, thank you very much, Mr. Folami, I'll meet you. And she will explain further to the team, this is what this auditor is talking about. And I have not sat at any position in any organization that we are their certification body to say we are negotiating non-conformity. In the last assessment of a client, we had a serious issue which she's not aware of. The only thing she knows was that because it's a recertification assessment, the standard, sorry about it, the audit report didn't come back in time, on time to the client. Why? I was the auditor myself, and there was no non-conformity. So when you have no non-conformity, what do? There's a review committee that you have to report to. Are you going to, when they report the audit, when they return your audit report to you, are you going to send it to client, okay, I'm not giving you non-conformity? I called the second auditor, I said, look, more justification why there's no non-conformity in this company. He wrote his own. We had to go back into the previous last surveillance 1, surveillance 2 assessment report and give justification because it is a recertification assessment. At that point, you are not just coming into management system. There have been improvements which we have recorded. And by the time we finished that and we submitted, I was just like, what are they going to say next?
Your time is up.
Only one day I just went and I checked that the certificate has been drawn, has been placed there for
Your time
now,
is
that
up.
we have to also look at very well. 1 minute, please. Now, the other area that we also have to look at is that leadership, which is external issue. You can't sell your brothers out and still have him as your brother. Oh, do you know this consultant, Fresh Fountain, is the one we are considering? Because they are considering DMSF for certification. And I say, oh, don't give it to her. Yeah, she's this, she's that. We had this. Client still told me yesterday, why we have not approved you on this job till now is this one says this. I just told him straight, follow your heart. It's your business. Certification is a business decision. I help them when you are not ready to do the right thing. I point to the quick action shop to them. And that is how it is. We as professionals are the ones that have work to do on our principles. And once we embrace those principles,
Thank you very much.
we're good to go.
Let's clap for Mr. Dimeji Folami. Quickly, because of time, the only Oyibo amongst us, the Onyocha one of Nigeria. So we are going to be having Mrs. Monica Nwosu as she shares with us her experience and the challenges she has gone through that has shaped her both as an auditor and as a consultant. Go ahead, ma.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. Thank you for the privilege. As I listen to all the people talking, I'm just smiling because I could actually relate very closely with their various experiences. And I will quickly start one of my challenges with a very funny story. And that's the story that most of us, we used to joke in my organization. As a very young management system consultant several years ago, like in the 2000, early 2000, one of our clients, we brought in the external audit. So I will start the challenge from the external perspective, then I will go to the internal perspective. So one of the first things I would say, don't accept lunch outside the premises. It may sound very funny to you, but the truth is there are some ethics and there are some principles that auditing has imposed on us as auditors. And you will agree with me that every profession, they have their own principles, right? Every profession have their own ethics. And one of the ethical principles that we have is due professional care. And as a young consultant way back, one of the things I learned very quickly from those external auditors then was the fact that there were some ethical principles and there were some auditing ethics that they failed to follow. You know, our client took them out for audit. We all went to eat and all of that. That was actually very many years ago. And on the way coming, we had a challenge with the tires of the car. So you can imagine the number of hours that they lost. Yes, they didn't give them money and all of that. Our clients did it in good faith to say, oh, there's, a very good restaurant close by. Let's go and eat lunch. And, it was like a buffet. A good table that was set before them in the presence of their enemies. And they sat down and they ate, and all of us ate, and on our way coming, the tire busted, and you can imagine the number of hours that they lost. Eventually, when we got back to the client site, they were all struggling to meet the auditing time. Eventually, years later, I became an external auditor myself. So it was a quick lesson learned. So sometimes in my organization, we joke with auditors' lunch. And we say, don't accept auditors' lunch. Another very quick area I want to also highlight is the fact that you need to draw a conflict of interest. That conflict of interest is something that we take very seriously in the auditing world. If you have had something to do with a system as an external auditor, it is very, very advisable. In fact, the audit ethics does not permit that you accept audit assignments for a company that you had something to do with. Because the truth is, you are already biased. And it will create room for biases in your reporting. You should be able to report objectively without, partiality and objectivity. So one of the critical areas I always ask is that, look, no matter how juicy the jobs are, I've had to reject several requests that I got for certification bodies that I audit for because of such conflict of interest. And then, like my sister from SON stated, there is a need for you to be very careful in accepting brown envelopes. Because the truth is, by the time you accept, you're already rubbing yourself up, and then of course, you do not have that opportunity to, report objectively. Another critical aspect, again, of auditing is what we call human aspect of auditing. And that is another aspect that we need to learn, particularly if you have the opportunity to audit as an external auditor. There are different types of human beings, and different types of human beings will present different types of temperaments to us during auditing. You must be able to have the discretion to understand the type of personality you are auditing. I have had to settle fights between external auditors and my clients when it was almost turning to physical combat. Yes, and you have had such experiences. It was very unfortunate, and you can imagine the outcome of the audit. So you must understand that human beings you are going to be speaking with, they all have different temperaments, they all have different behaviors, and they all have different personality traits. One of the key attributes of a good quality auditor is the ability to be able to discern and have discretion and be able to understand the kind of people that you are auditing and all of that. Another major challenge, which one or two people have actually outlined, is also poor knowledge. When the auditor themselves are not knowledgeable of the industry that they have been assigned to audit. So one of the challenges really is that you go there and then you just notice that you're just scratching the surface. You are not adding value to the organization. And it is very important that you add value to the organization as an auditor. Now let me quickly come to internal aspect of auditing or internal challenges when it comes to internal auditing. And Dr. Bashir, actually, Dr. Mohammed quick highlighted that in his presentation. One of the commonest one is that auditors are auditing themselves. When you have an auditor auditing his own work, that element of objectivity and impartiality is not there. So I have had the opportunity of auditing organization, and I noticed that the audit report, it was the name of the MD's wife, that is the HR manager. She audited herself and audited every other person within the system. And they used the outcome of the audit as a basis for performance assessment. The outcome of the audit is not a basis for performance assessment. Personal individual performance assessment, no. It is a basis for the organization to improve their system. So the outcome of the audit, and so you can imagine the atmosphere within that organization when the auditor is auditing herself. And I also noticed it's as a result of the fact that there's lack of management commitment. Yes, we quote management commitment, and it has become like a cliche. It's not a cliche, because if there was sufficient management commitment and involvement, they would have had enough resources, because I was told that they trained only 2 people. One person resigned, and the only person left in the system was the MD's wife, who is the HR manager. And there's nothing wrong with the HR manager being the MD's wife. Don't misquote me. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with her being an internal auditor, but there's something wrong with her auditing her own work. Then there's no independence of the audits, there's no objectivity, and there's no impartiality of the audit as required by ISO 19011-2018. Okay? And then another major area I want to quickly point out, okay, is also audits being seen as a winch hunting exercise during internal audit. Audit is not